Hi you guys, it's Tonya Gibbs, and today I want to share with you a card that I created using the February Sketch and Dare Challenge from Die-namites Dies. I will put a link down below where if you want to participate in this challenge you may. This is a glimpse of the sketch, and then the dare part is to use a heart. So I'm going to use the summer branch and the heart doily dies today for my card project, and I will also link those up down below. So the concept for today's card was to create a Masculine Valentine's card for my sweetie. I know he really loves to get my hot pink cards at Valentine's Day, but this year I thought he might like to get one that was a little more masculine. So I've taken and freehanded a heart onto a piece of recycled cardboard. This just came out of my recycle bin. And I'm going to rip some of that top layer of paper off to expose the corrugated board down below. This will give my card a really nice, interesting, grungy look. So now I'm going to take some red craft paint and just paint that heart up using a dry brush technique where I'm just going to barely put a little bit of paint on that and then just roughly paint the top of that heart. This is going to leave some of that natural cardboard exposed, and that's fine because that really gives it a nice grunge look. Now I'm going to take this Moon Shadow Mist from Lindy's Stamp Gang. This is the Gossamer Gold, and spritz it around. That's going to give it a nice antique finish. Now this is grunge paper. It was just a piece of scrap in my stash, and I'm going to roughly paint that as well. I'm not covering all of the grunge paper because I do want some of it exposed. You could use regular cardstock if you don't have grunge paper, but I like the look and feel of the grunge paper. It just adds to my grunge effect. Now I'm taking an archival ink pad in potting soil and just rubbing that around to finish covering up the areas that were exposed that didn't get paint on them. This is again just dirtying this up. Any brown color that you have would work. And then now I'm just going to add some of that to my heart. Now I will say you probably should have done this before I spritzed it with the Moon Shadow Mist just so I wouldn't get that mica flakes on my pad, but I don't care. Now I'm taking one of the circles from the Indigo Blue Lemore Weber Designs. This is the Lemore Circles stamp set. And this one has a really nice texture on it that I'm just going to add there to the top of my grunge board or grunge paper. So I've cut my grunge paper into this arrow shape, and my heart's going to anchor right on the top of that. I really like how these look, but now it's time to work on the base of my card. I have the indigo blue flitter box, and this piece of foam comes in it as well as this glue. So I'm going to put a little bit of this glue here on the foam, and also this little spatula comes in the kit as well. I'm going to work that down into the foam, and this is going to serve as my ink for my next step. It's actually a glue that is very sticky and never dries. It always stays really sticky. So once it's in there, I'm going to wipe off my palette knife very well so that it stays clean, close up my glue, and then I've pulled out another stamp from Indigo Blue. This is the Lemore Weber Splattered Heart A6 size. It comes in two sizes, a large and a small, and I'm using that glue on the stamp set. I'm going to stamp this onto my background and let it dry. Now while the stamp is drying, the ink is drying on my card base, I am going to take this stamp over to the sink, and I'm going to scrub it really well with soap and water and get all of that glue off my stamp because it will ruin my stamp. Like I said, it doesn't really dry. It always stays sticky, and you don't want that residue on your stamps. But this little piece of foam can be reused over and over again, so hang on to it. So now my card is good and dry. The ink is still very sticky. You can tell because it changes from a milky color to a clear color. Now I'm going to go back to my flitter box, and inside the box the Winter Dawn flake color came with the kit. And as you can see, I'm just applying a few pieces of that here to the top of my card, and then I'm going to take this scrubby pad that came with the kit. It's called a Scoochie, and I'm just going to rub all of the excess foil off that is not adhered to the glue. Now it's amazing because you can get so many fantastic details and foiling is so popular right now that I really wanted to show you guys today how you can use it with your stamps as well as with your dynamite dies, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. So to finish out the top of my card, I pulled back out my arrow, and I've just taken a standard hole punch, and I'm just punching some random holes. Again, this is just to give it a little more texture and to just grunge it up a little bit more. It just needed a little more interest. So I'm going to do 2 rows of those and stagger them. This is a piece of just lace that was in an ephemera pack. I've added it down over the top of that heart, and I'm going to cover quite a bit of this up. You're not going to really see that heart shape too much because I really want the heart focus to be on the heart that I cut out of cardboard. So I'm going to place that over the top. Now, I personally think that the splatters on this stamp set remind me of fireworks. So that's where I was going with this, is that sort of romantic firework kind of display. And what I'm gluing here is some of the Tim Holtz mini gears. We had buttons in the sketch, and I thought for a masculine card the gears were more appropriate. Now I'm going to take my summer branch die, just put a piece of paper towel down on my work surface, and using that same sponge without adding any more glue to it, I'm just going to blot that over the top of my summer branch die. Now I've cut this out of scrap. Doesn't matter what it is because you're not going to see it when you're done. I'm going back to my flitter box. I'm dabbing that die cut down into the flakes, and now I'm going to peel off all the excess, and then going back to the lid of the box, I'm going to rub the top of the flakes with the scoochie. Now anything that isn't stuck to glue will come off, and it's all trapped neatly right here in this box and not flying all over my work surface. For this technique, I wanted to show you guys how it looked with these really super thin, delicate dies. Isn't it gorgeous? I mean, it really took this die to a new level, and you can get a lot of really great shine from this small die. These are just some little wood veneer pieces that I had. I'm just using that ink to just sort of darken them up a little bit so they match my card a little better. Now I'm going to go back to my die cut, and I'm going to cut it apart. And to me, the branches of this particular die reinforce that firework display that I have going on in the background and just bring it to the top of my heart. Don't be afraid to cut apart your dies, because I think that sometimes they can add a little more interest if you cut them apart, and scale them down for your project. As I said before, the gold foiling is so popular right now, is so hot, and it's really nice to be able to take these intricate die pieces and add that foiling to them. The glue is fantastic. The kit is what a great value it is, and it's really going to take your dies to the next level. Here I'm just adding a few wood veneer pieces. One is a hashtag that is found in the Studio Calico Essential Punctuation Kit, and then this is one of the tiny words from Cosmo Cricket, and it says "in love," so my sentiment will read in hashtag in love. And then I've added a Prima clock piece there to the center of my flower and my floral spray, and I just think time it signifies the time that goes by when you're in love, that kind of thing. So for the inside of my card, it's hard to write on black cardstock, so I've just added a piece of white cardstock there to the center. And I am going to take some of these little negative heart cut pieces that came from the heart doily die. This die has 3 different heart sizes, so it makes really fun confetti. And if you wanted to die cut it out of some silver paper or gold paper, you could have some really neat looking hearts for confetti. I'm going to add those to the center, and then here's a glimpse of my card on the front. After looking at it, I thought, oh, it needs something in the center of that little clock, and I didn't have any hands to add, so I thought, well, let's just add another one of those little heart confetti pieces there to the center, and then that will bring my heart elements all the way back up to the top, which makes them the central focus. So thank you again for watching. Here's some close-ups of my finished card. You can really see how the fireworks look there in the background using that splattered heart and the flitter foil. So thank you so much. Look at all that shiny goodness on that dynamite die as well. If you've enjoyed this production, please make sure you give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. Also, Die-namites Dies is hosting a design team call at the moment. The final day for submitting for the call is February the 24th, so I will put links to all of that and the challenge down below for you guys to reference. Thanks for watching.